Hi, I'm Chris with Premier Guitar. We're at the Montreal Guitar Show, and we're talking with Joe Yanuziello of Yanuziello Stringed Instruments out of Toronto. Joe, how are you doing?
Good, thanks. Great.
So this guitar that you're holding, Brazilian rosewood top, unbelievable color, depth. What's the story?
Well, a customer used to have a Telecaster, and he was jonesing for the Telecaster, rosewood Telecaster again, so he asked me if I could make, a rosewood guitar in my shape, so I obliged him, and this is what I had in the shop. Fortunately for him, I had this one piece that is exactly as you see, and it would have been too short for, or too small for an acoustic flat top, so it ended up on this. So we're both lucky. I'm totally happy to make it, yeah. And the pickguard here, he didn't want a pickguard on it, and I talked him into this clear pickguard because I like the pickguard shape. It delineates the instrument. So when he saw it on here, I didn't screw it on. I had a place on. He went, "Oh yeah, we'll do that. That's cool." So
Now, the model that you're telling us has been something that you've been doing since the 80s.
yeah, well, I built the first one of these in about 1982, and it was truly a solid body guitar with just stock hardware off the shelf, including the bridge, pickups. And around 1995, I decided to make them hollow, because when I was a kid, I had an old Harmony with Diarmid pickups, and I loved the thing. It played horribly, but it sounded great, and it evolved into this sort of thing. My guitar is hollow body with Lindy Fralin Diarmid style pickups and my own bridge hardware, etc. In fact, this guitar has the first side-by-side single coil or a double coil humbucking pickup that Fralin's made for me. Yeah, so it's kind of nice. It sounds great too. It's quiet, and these things haven't lost that kind of Diarmid sound, which I love. That robust kind of mid-range, kind of honking sound that works for a lot of different roots music. Yeah. In fact, people, when I say they're hollow, people think, oh, it's acoustic, but by no means it's an electric guitar. But the hollow body, like an old Harmony or a K, it just adds a lot to the notes. It just makes it that kind of vocal quality, that round thing. It's not a plank of wood with a string vibrating on it. It's a lot different, yeah.
And how about the neck?
Neck is kind of, this is sort of my stock neck shape, and it's very comfortable. I used to have a mid-60s Tele, and I loved the way the neck felt, so I kind of copied that shape, and of course customers ask for all sorts of things. The last one I just shipped out had a neck like a 50s Les Paul. It was a bigger, big chunky neck with higher frets and whatnot. So as a custom guy, anything goes, which is the nice thing about it, right? People can indulge themselves, right? It's great.
This is your Mando model.
Yep. Electric mandolin, 8-string. A lot of people make mandolins with 4 or 5 strings, but, for my way of thinking, a mandolin isn't a mandolin unless it has double choruses, because that, even with an electric version like this, when you're on stage with bass drums, that sound comes through, so you can pretend it's actually an acoustic instrument, and you can plug it into an electric guitar amp, compete with the drums, the bass, no problem, no feedback. So these are kind of performance instruments like the electric guitars are, and I make this with a different type of bridge, like the solid stop tailpiece as on the electric guitar, or you can get this in a mandola version, or a mandocello, or an octave mandolin. So I make the whole family. There's a customer of mine in Toronto, his name's Kevin Bright, fantastic musician, and he has the whole bunch of these and uses them to great effect. It's interesting to hear him play it on stage, and somebody beside me in the audience will be going, wow, electric, I didn't know you do that with an electric mandolin. So it's a whole other thing. I mean, you can play effects with it, looping, all sorts of stuff. It's, totally a useful thing. This can come any way. As on the electric guitar, the back could be mahogany. I've done lots with mahogany body, neck.
Look at the flame on the neck there.
Yeah, it's got a nice flame on the neck, for sure. Yeah, the paint jobs are fun. I'm kind of into 50s cars, and the two-tone thing has always been a big thing with me. So having, this kind of double color here is great. And it could be any color combination. I've done tons, metallic, plain colors. I've done these with binding, like a little Les Paul Sunburst Curly Maple. So they kind of come, it's a nice thing about custom anything is you can do whatever you want. It's great. So I indulge myself too, actually. It's good.
Thanks, Joe. So people that are interested in Yanuziello Stringed Instruments can find you on the web.
Yeah, at www.yanuziello.com.
That's great. Thanks very much, Joe. I'm Chris Burgess. You're watching PremierGuitar.com.